Lately, I haven't been really playing video games much at all. Partially lack of motivation, mostly the lack of time though. Thing is, it is spring break and I recently got a bundle on itch.io of a bunch of different games for just like $10 as the Ukraine bundle. So, it is my challenge to myself this week to play one new game every day. Yesterday, I already got started with this one rhythm game called like Project Sekai or something. A friend recommended it to me, so that's a start. But anyway, I have got to be hitting the road now to St. Louis. So today in St. Louis, I went to the zoo, saw some interesting bugs and animals there. That was fun. I also went to a record store where I got a vinyl, a CD, and a little sticker. Now, the zoo thing got me thinking about the kind of game that I wanted to play today, which is just like a cute little animal game. And I found that with Inbento. Inbento is a game where you're this cat mom making bento boxes for her cat's son's lunch. Basically, you need to put in all the ingredients in the right places in the right order and stuff. So I like how that got me thinking about spaces and putting things into them. That spatial reasoning, I thought that was pretty fun. The music is also pretty nice and cute, so I would definitely recommend this game. I haven't even finished it though, there's a bunch of levels, so that's Inbento. Today was my last day in St. Louis, so I went to the St. Louis Art Museum, saw some very interesting sculptures and paintings, both new and old, and then headed back home. Now, I already knew what kind of game I wanted to play because I was going to be driving home, so I wanted it to be something on my Switch. Thing is, Baba Is You was in the Ukraine bundle, and it's on my Switch, and I haven't played it in a while, so I basically remember nothing about the game, but I think I loved it even more this time. Baba Is You is a puzzle game about manipulating rules. You can move around and push those words around. So that opens up a lot of ways to complete certain levels. Some of them are a little hard, maybe that's just me, but then once you finally solve them, you feel like a genius. Even if you did use a little bit of YouTube tutorial for help. So that's what I think about Baba Is You. Okay, yes, I did skip past Wednesday. I just didn't have time to do much that day as it so happened. But I did find a game for today, and that game is Death and Taxes. I assume inspired by the Benjamin Franklin quote. It's this game where you play as someone called Grimm, and every day you basically have to decide who in this small area lives or dies. There's like a quota you have to meet each day, but you don't really have to. I don't know the consequences. The boss is just like, hey, don't do that. But I kind of like that because it kind of makes you think about like making the right decisions when you're under the supervision of someone more powerful than you, which is an idea that probably applies to business in general and not just in this fantastical world. Not the most riveting game I've played this week, definitely not, but it still is interesting, and the music and themes around death give it a chill but dark atmosphere, and I quite like that. So Death and Taxes, good choice, I say. Okay, it is Thursday now, and today I played a game that really caught my eye while I was looking at the games in the Ukraine bundle. This game is Wandersong. Basically, a game where instead of combating against enemies by like jumping on them or shooting them or something, you sing certain notes in this radial display around your player character. It shows that pretty well in the first few enemy encounters / boss fights. You're up against these ghosts and they make these certain sounds and move in these certain ways, and you gotta copy them. And after you help that town, then you go to the spirit world and there's a castle or something. At this point, I stopped playing for the time because I didn't want to play too much of this game. And not only that, but when you start the game, it says Act 1, The Haunting in Langtree. So there's probably like 2 or 3 acts. So, with this really creative mechanic of singing instead of fighting, and a story that seems to go on for quite a bit, I can definitely see myself playing this game even more in the future. So that's Wandersong. Saturday, last game of the spring break. And I've known what game I wanted to play today for quite some time because I knew I wanted to save the absolute best for last. So that is why today I played Celeste. Celeste is a lot different from the other games I played this week. That's because Celeste is a platformer. While it was difficult in some parts for me, I definitely got stuck on some parts. It was very fun and rewarding once I finally finished the first chapter about the something city. Along with the enjoyable gameplay, Celeste has a very nice atmosphere, not just because of all the effects and the rumbling and sounds and whatnot, but also because of the snow particles that are overlaid over everything, which gives it a very pleasant but kind of harsh wintry feel. And of course, the music, which is currently playing in the background right now. So for the spring break, I'm really ending on a high note here. This very enjoyable game, Celeste. I have to admit, that date up in the left corner is completely wrong. It is nearly a month after the actual date listed that I am now recording this. I have just had so little time to work on this video, but that and some other things about this video really made me realize something. And even though I didn't meet all the requirements and the goals I set for myself that spring break week to play all those games, one new game every day and stuff, that doesn't matter, because the whole point of this was to just have fun, try out some new games, and just not worry about things for a while. And I realized that playing games is way more fun when I don't have to do it in a certain amount of time. I don't have to do it for a video. So while I did get to play a lot of new games while making this video, it has to end at some point. So that was my week, trying some new games for the spring break. And now, well, I can just play the games for my own fun. And maybe do some other things that I'd really like to do also. And maybe you should too. Go out on a walk, listen to some music. You know, not everything has to be a deadline, I say. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.